Hello, hello. How is everyone doing? Oh my goodness. What a cool. If anybody saw the show last week, if you haven't, go back and check it out because I think I left that one public. It's pretty cool, actually. It's kind of fun. Anyway.
Well, I was actually going, well, I'm doing well. I was going to say something about the fact that I still don't have rounded corners and I still don't have the white frame. So we better be doing a workshop this week about it.
Valid point. We are doing that. We are doing that. We are definitely doing a workshop. That will be a members only workshop that she's talking about there.
Yeah. And I just because I can do this, because like it's possible. Maybe is it possible? Is it? Wait, hold on. It's possible. I promise. It's totally possible.
Oh,
there it is.
There we go.
It is.
Look at
take that off. There you go.
I did.
All right. So there we go. Yes, we do have one this Friday.
It's going to be fun, I think. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be great. Yeah.
I hope it is. I hope people learn something too. Hey, where are you from? What country, city, state?
As Russ would say, state of confusion. That's where I'm from right now.
For sure.
Phoenix, Arizona. It's getting hotter. It's getting hotter over here. I don't know about the rest of the country, but it's getting hotter over here. And it's always a sad day when you start talking about the weather. So let's not do that.
There is that. That's for sure. Anyway, awesome guest on this week. I can't wait to get them on here and show you because I love it when they come on because they always bring people with them, etc. and all that kind of stuff. But more than that, I always learn something. There's always something to learn, even though you think, hey, and I've got Chris's book, so I think I can get everything. And then there's times like, you know what? It'd be really cool if we had something. Oh, look, see, there you go, putting that up there. It'd be really cool to have something to help my wife because, my wife doesn't always listen to me, but it'd be really great to have a video or something or just kind of have a show where we can go and talk about this. So without further ado, I'm going to bring you all up. Here we go. Let's bring them in. Hey, Chris and Jim, how are you?
Hey. We're good. Here in beautiful South Florida.
Nice.
Fort Lauderdale.
There you go. Love it.
You'll see some evidence of that later on, I hope.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, right. Your pictures.
That's right. And I also, anybody that has your mobile phone, you're rewatching this or whatever, up in the upper corner here, you're going to see there's a link to their website so you can go see what they're all about. So awesome.
GeeksOnTour.com.
Love it. Love it. Right. Can't wait. Can't wait to get going. So let's get going. Let's talk about it. And the whole reason, like I said, Chris, you and I had this conversation because you always ask me, say, what are we going to talk about? And I was like, there's definitely an issue. And you, what was interesting this time, you said, yes, there is. There is an issue with this. So it's going to be a good conversation. I can't wait.
Well, you told me that you have, friends and family that when they are looking at photos that were shared with them,
right,
then they want to either reshare or edit or do something with those photos. And it's a bit of a complicated task. So that's
for sure.
That's what I decided to run with, was a shared album is what
love it.
Is kind of what we're talking about today.
Yeah, because like a lot of times they want to be able to take that picture and send it as a text or, or whatever in their own way. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times they can't do that. So that's they kind of have to get it in what they used to call their library, right? I mean, kind of.
Yes. Yeah. I still call it my library. Google just calls it photos, but it's your library of your lifetime of photos.
Right.
We'll refer to that as library.
Gotcha. Perfect. Sounds good to me.
So I have a couple of slides. You ready with those? Yeah, sure. A couple of slides just to introduce the topic. So I'm calling this Tinkering with Shared Albums because that's what we're going to do. I made a shared album and I shared it with Jim and Michael. And then we're going to have Michael share it with Heather. And then we're going to see what each of us can do with those photos. Here is the Learn Google Photos book. And it's available on Amazon. But if you just go to learngoogle.photos.com, you'll see a link. All the information about the book is there. If you are a Geeks on Tour member, you have access to the PDF version of the book. If you just go to Amazon, the Kindle version of the book is just $7.95. And I think the Kindle version of the book is great because you can search the whole book for what you're looking for. You can click the links and they're all live links. So, but it's chapter 9. Next slide. Chapter 9 is all about sharing. And we're just going to cover one piece of this. But like you said, sometimes I just want to send a picture to somebody in an email.
Yeah, exactly.
But and sometimes I have people that I know that don't even do email. They only do texts. So if I'm going to send them a picture, I better send it to them in a text message or they're never going to see it.
That's true.
But then if somebody does use Google Photos, so that's that one, sharing with people who use Google Photos, there are better techniques. Just sharing them within Google Photos or making a shared album. And then there's other things like sharing to Facebook. There are shared albums where multiple people can add photos to the album. We love using that. We go on dive trips with a group of people and we want everybody's photos. So at the beginning of the trip, we make a shared album, give everybody the link, and assuming they use Google Photos, at the end of the week, we have a really complete photo album of everybody's trip photos.
So we have a question from the audience here. Will the Kindle version of the book be updated as changes occur?
No, the Kindle version of the book is the same as the printed version of the book. And all updates are on the companion web page, which is shown in the book. I updated it in June of 2021. And from then on, all updates are on the web page. The companion web page is broken up into chapters. So each chapter shows what has changed.
Now, if there are really big changes, we may upload the new version of the Kindle book, but probably not. As Chris says, she keeps it up to date and on that companion web page. And if you have the book, you have the link to that.
And the way the Kindle and the Amazon publishing works, it's just as easy to update the Kindle as it is to update the printed. So, whenever we do update, the Kindle will be updated. And yeah, maybe you'd want to go get that. But right now, I have no plans for doing an update.
And we'll let you know when that happens too.
Awesome.
Anything else on this one?
Nope.
All right. Where to next? Do we have assignment?
What we're going to do is a shared album. And so there's a question. I made this shared album. I called it Tinkering with Shared Albums. And I have a list of questions. They're bulleted items there. So I'm going to show this shared album. And the first question is, who owns and controls the album? All right, so let's take a look at it. Here I am on my Google Photos. I'm logged in as Chris, and under albums, and I'm on a computer here. I'm on a Chromebook, actually. Tinkering with Shared Albums. And you can see that I am the owner of this album, but Michael is able to see this album, and Jim is able to see this album. And all three of us have added photos to this album. And it tells us right there. So this photo was added by Jim Gould. This one was added by Jim Gould. He seems to have a thing for lobsters.
It's true, I do.
So every photo in here that is a lobster.
It's a nice problem to have.
Yeah. Was contributed by Jim. Then I have a thing for turtles. So all the pictures you see here of turtles were added by me. And then Michael seems to have a thing for food. And it says Michael Daniels. So any of the three of us, because I specifically shared this with the two of them. So now what I want to demonstrate, and I'll need both Michael and Heather for this, is so I shared this album with Michael. Let's say that he wants to share this album with Heather.
All right. So here's me, my phone, right?
Yeah. So he's just looking at it on his phone. There is the album. All he does is tap on that little plus next to the faces.
There we go.
And add Heather. And then he can say something. If you scroll down, I think it's, no.
Here, hold on. I have to add.
Heather.
Do I have to add?
Okay, yes.
On the iPhone, I'm sorry.
There you go. Add. Yes.
Add. There we go. Okay.
And now she should get a notification.
And so will I.
We all just got a notification that she has been added to this shared album.
So you have no control of other people sharing that out then. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, I have some control. I mean, I just got notified that you shared with Heather. And as the owner, I could go in and say, I could remove her. As the owner of the album, I can delete anybody.
Okay.
But,
good to know.
But anybody who is in the album can add somebody else. Yes.
All right. So we want to go to what? Heather's next?
To Heather? Yeah.
All right. Let's go over to Heather's.
Okay. So we're on my photos page. And what do? I don't know what to do.
First show that you can see the album. If you go to your sharing section.
It's not even in your albums. It's in sharing. Isn't that weird? I'm sorry. I just had to.
Yeah.
I just had to. Anyway.
Looks like you might need to refresh. Did you get a notification?
No, I haven't got. Oh, look at that.
Now sharing is highlighted.
Okay.
And you see the Tinkering with Shared Albums. All right. So you have now successfully, anybody who gets added to the album can see the pictures that are in the album. And by default, I, as the owner, could change this, but by default, you can add new photos. And you do that up at the very top of the screen. Do you see the little button with the plus on it? It's the second from the left.
I don't need to join the album first?
No, by selecting, by clicking on, no, you don't.
Okay. All right.
Michael added you.
Okay.
I don't think you need to join.
There's a join button. That's what we were curious.
Something in there, you've joined.
Right.
Okay. This is cool to see.
H for Heather.
But it's an H, not my face. So I think I have to join first because this was an issue my friend and I had. That's the reason why I waited.
But it says Heather Crafter, and you can.
But I don't see her on my screen.
I see an H.
Let's see if I can add a photo. Will it let me? Because I have a thing
so.
I have a thing for flowers, so I'm going to go ahead and add that.
Flowers is great.
Oh, and look at that. I automatically joined when I did that. So you were right, Chris.
Yeah, so you were added by Michael. So you didn't take some action.
And I see it on my screen where it says Heather Crafter just joined and added that beautiful rose. Yeah. Cool.
Way cool.
Is that an edible rose?
They're all edible. They are. They're all edible.
I'm sorry, but I would not eat this one. It was out in the desert. Don't do it.
Michael is all about food.
Yeah,
I am.
Can you eat that? You gonna eat that?
All right, where are we now? Where do I need to go? You tell me.
Okay, so I can go ahead and share this with all of my friends, right?
Well, try that. I don't think that one's going to work, and I'll tell you why.
Okay. So I'm going to share it with Mark. because Mark loves getting my pictures in his album.
Okay, so you can share with an individual.
Oh, I did.
Yes, you did. So you can do it either with the share button and then pick an individual, or you can click the plus down where all our faces are.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, same difference.
Wow. Okay.
What you can't do, this is what I thought was going to come up. When you click that share button up at the top, I usually then share a link. Notice that the ability to share a link is not there.
Right.
And that's because by default, the share with a link is not available. I, as the owner of the album, would have to make that possible.
Awesome.
Hashtag Chris is always right. I love it.
At least regarding Google Photos, I got to throw that caveat.
Jim's not so sure.
I'm going to have a discussion.
That's all right. Earlier he said this. Now I want lobster for dinner.
That's right. That's right.
All right, man. Come down anytime. You're welcome.
Come on over.
I have some in the freezer. I'm going to try and go on Friday. I'm going to miss your workshop. If I go
for lobster, that's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
It's recorded. It's recorded in your members, so you can see it anytime.
All right, so Chris, what's next? I'm just trying to keep this real back in.
Your main question when we started this conversation, Michael, was that your friend, your family member would see a picture shared with her and she wanted to reshare it with somebody else. Now, what we've just done is share the whole album. But what if either you or Heather, I don't care who wants to share, what if you just want to share that picture of Jim holding the lobster with somebody?
Yeah, exactly. Like if I wanted to go to, the thing is a lot of times you're in your text messaging app and you want to share a folder and you can't access this from an album. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I saw that photo, but I know I had it, or you think you had it, but it's actually in an album. So you can't get it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, because whose photo is that? It's not your photo.
It's my photo. Now you can save it, right?
Yeah, but now let's see. So the answer depends. Well, go ahead and click on that photo. Yeah, the orange vest. And notice there is no share. Try the 3 dots.
Okay.
And there still is no share.
But there is a download.
But there is a download.
And if you download it, it's yours.
Yeah. So go ahead and click download.
That downloads to the phone, though, correct? It doesn't download to Google Photos.
Correct. That download means copy it to your photo roll.
But if you have Google Photos up,
if I have Google Photo, if I add it, if I hit, okay, I'm going to do this. But hang on 1 second. If I'm back here, I just want to know for my reference, if I save a photos, that saves it to my Google Photos, and then I can send it via text. Is that right or no? Tell me if that's right or wrong.
Yes, but there's still an extra step.
Okay, good. Okay, that's what I wanted to find out. All right.
Whereas if you download to your phone, then you can do your text like you normally would, as if you just took that picture on your phone.
All right, I'm going to download.
And Google Photos might automatically upload it to your Google Photos because it's
now I downloaded it.
Yeah.
Depending on your sync.
Now I've downloaded it.
Okay, so now just go out to your text messaging.
Okay.
See, there's multiple ways of doing anything, right?
Right.
And this is the one that seems to be the best. If somebody is used to texting, it's best to just download it to your phone.
Gotcha. All right.
So the key, Jolyn says, so the key for sharing is to go to the shared album first, save a photo to your device. Is that for sharing a photo someone shared with you? Is that correct?
Well, that works. That absolutely works. It kind of depends. The person that you are sharing with, do they use Google Photos? If they do, then it's better to stay within the Google Photos universe.
Oh, I got you.
If they don't use Google Photos, then it's a lot easier to just download to your device. Then you can use it. And when you download, it comes up with today's date, because that's the next thing that happens.
So without revealing everybody's phone numbers, I can just send this to my son and see if he gets it. Is that what you want me to do
Sure.
Okay. I'm just going to do that without revealing anybody's numbers, because they always pop up with the numbers and everything. So I'm going to attempt it. Attempt it. I'm going to add it, and I add it from the photos there it is. There's Jim's
from your
photo.
device,
So
because you just downloaded it. It's a current photo in your camera roll or in your downloads folder on an Android.
So the way that I would say this is you almost have to claim the photo before you can then share the photo.
Good word.
That seems like, well, it seems like it's almost I don't know how to say this right without it coming out this way, but it feels naughty, like I've done something wrong. I don't mean for it to sound like that, but you know what I mean? Like it's your picture.
You need to make it yours one way or the other. You either need to save it to your Google Photos library, or you need to save it to your device.
Otherwise, it's somebody else's.
Otherwise, it's somebody else's. You cannot edit it. You
so
cannot
you made it your own. You made it your own.
Yeah, you have to make it your own. Claim it. I like that. I like that. That's a good way of putting it, Heather.
It freaks me out sharing photos with people sometimes, because I made the mistake of, well, it wasn't a mistake to share the photos. It just then became a mistake because then he owned my photos. Like he claimed them as his, and he didn't want
to.
But that's the way it happened. And so now his photo album is filled with my vacation photos.
Absolutely.
So now Heather can tell everybody that she made all this food that's on the album now. She can.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I'll be right back.
Okay. So, but let me go to my screen for a minute.
Okay.
And let me just show you, because I am the owner. And how do you know that I'm the owner? Because I'm the first image over here. And when I hover over my little face, it says Chris Gould, owner. Now, because I'm the owner, I can go to the 3 dots and I can choose options, and I can turn off collaboration. Nobody from now on could add new photos to this album.
Oh, wow.
Oh, there you go.
That's what collaboration means.
Okay.
And same thing with comments and likes and with link sharing. Remember, I told you that you could not see the way to copy a link to send to somebody. That is also an album option. And I didn't realize it was off. So now if you go to that share an album, you could grab a link and post the link to somewhere to share an album. But so those are, and at any point you could delete that link. If I scroll down, I can see who all is in this album. And if I wanted to, I could remove that person.
So now you can't see who I added, though. This is interesting to me. You don't see Mark because he hasn't yet joined it. You don't.
He hasn't yet joined it, right?
You can't kick him out until he joins.
Right.
All right, Mark, get busy.
Yeah,
I did not know it was like that, though. I thought that you would see that I had invited him and you could disinvite him at that point.
Well, that's why we do these things, so we can learn.
Yeah, really, because I don't do this every day either.
Wow.
So I could invite more people and I could remove anybody that's already there. And if I removed you, Heather,
what would happen to my flower?
Your flower picture would be gone from this album.
Oh. But not from mine, right? Not from
from you, no.
No.
Unless I already copied it. If I already kept it, then I would have a copy that I claimed.
Right. So here, if I removed Jim from this album, that picture of him holding the lobster would be gone from this album. But Michael already downloaded it to his device. So
he could put it back in the album. He would have to put it back in the album for it to show up here.
To show it in the album, but he still has it.
He does have it.
He has a copy of it. Yeah.
Darn right I do. I'm just kidding.
Now, and I want to show you one of this is kind of weird. I told you, Michael, before the show started that I do not take pictures underwater.
Right.
I leave that to Jim. So how did I get this picture of this turtle? If I look at the info panel, it tells me that this was taken with an Olympus Imaging Corp TG2. This was taken by another friend of ours. But because I saved it to my library, I am now sharing it. And as far as anybody else knows,
you took that picture.
I took that picture.
Wow.
Even though I did not. So that's your issue, Heather. And yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That's kind of funky. So when I do, just for my own knowledge, when I do save other people's photos, I write a description up there. I will say, and
Excellent.
I didn't with this one, obviously, but
Heather, you and I kind of talked about that before when we were alone talking about that. Yeah.
We did. And we don't have enough time to talk about the solutions that we came up with, but that can be another show. We can definitely do another show on Google Photos.
Just because I showed that one example, let's go out just to my library. I'm not looking at the album. I'm just looking at my library, and I'm looking at all the turtle pictures. And I think that one is too far back. There
he is. There he
now,
is.
in my main library, look at this. It tells me shared by Stephanie Voorhees.
Oh, wow.
And saved to your photos.
Oh, interesting.
So in your copy, in your library, you do see who took the picture.
So here's a question. If Mark has already admitted that he was the one I was talking about. I shared my Lambeau Field photos, the album with him, and then I think he downloaded them or whatever somehow. So then if he wanted to get rid of those, because I'm sure he does not want my trip to Lambeau Field in his photos, can he do like a Google search or a search within photos? Can he do that?
Well, he can try, but
and
it
and
might
make
not.
Like Heather Crafter, and I'll be in that thing. No.
But if he got one of them though with the date though, right? If he had the date, then he could pull up the date and search it that way, and then all of the photos, if they were taken in the same date, would show up. Is that correct?
Yes.
Or no?
And let's do a demo here. So
okay, cool.
I want Heather's computer.
Okay.
And I am going to have you save all of the photos. And there's what? I don't know, about 30 photos here. And I want you to save them all to your library. I will show you how you can remove them. Yes, that button there, since it's at the top of the whole album, that will save the entire album's worth of photos to your library. Go ahead and click it.
Okay, you do realize I have a little bit of trepidation doing this, but okay, for your demonstration, I will, Chris.
So this represents the trust that you place in me.
I don't know. I'm still kind of hyperventilating over here. All right, looks like
saved.
Okay,
saved.
So like those 30 photos are now in your library.
Yay!
Where are they? So back out of this album.
Okay.
And go to your, just click on photos.
Okay.
And we're not seeing them.
No. And I just did this today, so why aren't they here today?
Right. Scroll down a bit, see if you can find one.
Oh boy. This is going to be great.
You're going to have to type in lobster.
No, we're back to Thanksgiving. Come on.
Okay. Well, actually, February 10. Some of the lobster ones were from February 10.
Wow, maybe you need to refresh.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, we'll try refreshing. Okay.
Good point.
February 10, right there.
There's lobster.
There we go.
Okay, but
that's not a lobster.
So some of these photos,
I know. I'm an expert in these things.
Okay. Okay.
That photo of Jim with the orange vest. That's from 1991.
No.
So scroll all the way
back.
Scroll
back to 1991.
Oh my word. All right. Let's see.
91.
Right there.
All right. So so you don't see any way here, right? There is no way to say, show me all the pictures that came from the tinkering with shared albums. Wouldn't that be nice? That would be nice.
That would be very nice.
However, you can
recent, right?
Exactly. Instead of showing me all my photos in date taken order, show them to me in added order. So to do that on the computer, you click on Explore over at the, well, that recently added will work, but I just want you to see how it shows.
Oh, okay. So go to Explore. Okay. I like it.
Explore and scroll down.
Oh, scroll down. Okay.
And on a phone, this is under search. You tap search and you see recently added in the leftmost
right there.
column.
Yep. Right there. Oh, thank goodness. I can delete.
Now you can select the first one and shift click on the last one and delete them all.
Oh boy.
Phew! Has your heart started?
Yes.
Yes.
Now they are.
Okay, I'm going to test it. I'm going to test it though.
Trash.
There's
you can
no
still get them out of your trash for
no 1991. I just had to check and make sure. I just didn't want you in there, Jim. Sorry. All right. I'll check my trash. You got it. Check my trash and make sure it says it'll be gone in 2 months, but I want them gone now. All right, we're good. Woo! I feel much better.
All right.
Always remember that stuff is in your trash.
So that is probably the #1 tip. If you have a photo shared with you and you want a copy of it for your own, it's save, but realize that it's being saved to the date that it was taken. So if you need to, so that's #1, save is how to make a copy of it to your own library. #2 is how to see those is by viewing the recently added. And that changes your entire library's date order. You know, instead of your entire library being sorted by date taken, it is sorted by date added. So with Mark's of your Lambeau Field album, yes, if he chooses recently added, his entire library is now sorted by date added. And if he can find one of those Lambeau Field ones, he should find all the rest next to them.
Yeah, too bad he didn't do it. We didn't know that at the time because that was
exactly. I have a quick question for you. Okay, so if I'm in an album and you took the picture, but I want to add a description to it to make it more descriptive for me to go, is that possibility? Can I do that?
You cannot add in the description because the description is part of the photo. It's my photo. You can't touch my photo.
Okay.
But in a shared album, you can put a comment on a photo.
Right.
You can add comments to the whole album. You can also add comments just to the photo.
Okay.
Because
what would be nice is to be able, one thing that I think, and I've asked for this in feedback, is to be able to add some kind of description to that. So when I do make it mine, when they all come over, they'll have that name of that person. So I can just now search that person and all of those photos would come up. Or let's just say lobster. If I could just put lobster in each one of those, then that way, when it does become mine, since it's part of the description, I know. It would be nice, though. It would be nice to be able to do that. Yeah.
Send feedback.
I do. I have. No, I do and I have.
Okay, let's see if I had a couple other questions that I think. All right. Yeah. I'll look at this. Who can see the photos? Anybody who they have been shared with. Or if you have a link, if you shared with a link, anybody that has the link can see the photos. So when viewing a photo that someone else owns, can you edit, delete, or reshare it? No. You have to make it yours before you can do any of those things.
Claim it.
You have to claim it. Yeah, you have to claim it for your own, which does make a copy of it. So, yeah. How to copy someone else's photo so you can own it. That I think we did. So saving items from and I think we've done this too. If you copy someone else's photo to your own library, what can you do with it now? Now it's yours. Now you can edit it, add descriptions, reshare it, print it, add it to your own albums. So for example, I wrote an article recently in the last month's newsletter. A friend asked, I have tons of pictures of my kids. How do I give all of the pictures of my kids to my kids so that they have their own copy? It's with a shared album, but then your kids have to know how to save.
Right, exactly.
There. But it's once. I don't think it's too difficult. It does take a couple of steps.
But you just have to, once you do it and you learn it, I think it's really good and it's very helpful because once you know it, oh yeah, all I have to do is save this. This is good. Now, let me ask you the quick question. Since you're talking about this particular thing on the saved part, on the iPhone and the Android, it's a different button to save, is it not? And the internet, I think. It's like a cloud symbol on the internet to save. But I think it's an up arrow or something in a square box on iPhone. Is that right or no?
Photos, how to save to a. No, I think it's to save is a down arrow, a cloud with a down arrow.
Okay.
Good question. I don't know. We'd have to look.
Okay, that's fine. It's not a big deal. We can talk about this in the backstage pass or whatever. That's fine. Or go if we want to dig further. Go ahead.
Okay, so speaking of saving, Russ wants some clarification on this, and I think so do I, because I think I understand it a little differently. If the download is on your phone, will it then be uploaded to My Google Photos?
Yeah.
Well, will it?
Folders. If you're on an Android, you have folders, so you have to make sure that Google Photos is looking at that folder to upload. On the iPhone, it'll just go.
So on the iPhone, the answer is absolutely yes. On an Android, it depends.
And the depends is your settings, right? Like you go in and decide this one will upload, this one will upload, this one will not.
For device folders.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to make sure. Awesome.
Good. Now, actually, in a lot of places, Michael, where I see it actually has the word save, S-A-V-E.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that makes it easy.
Gil has a question here.
That means save to your Google Photos library. The down arrow usually means download to your device.
I got you. Makes sense.
What if you put a copyright symbol on your photo? Is it then protected?
Depends on what you mean by protected. A copyright symbol on your photo protects you legally. Does it prevent somebody from copying it and printing it somewhere in a magazine? No. But if they do, the copyright symbol says that you claim that you own the copyright, and if somebody violates that, you can sue them.
You can always edit that out. You just
just crop it out. So the bottom line is,
pro tip:
don't share photos that you feel you have any kind of monetary interest.
Well, that's why I was saying it kind of makes me feel a little icky when I just took your picture right off of your album and it's mine. So I guess the bottom line is you're going to share your photos, know who you're sharing them with, and understand the privacy and those parts and how that works. And then be okay with that. So I'm not going to share the photos that Greg and I took on vacation with Mark ever again. So sorry, Mark. Sorry, those are in your album, but you now know how to get rid of them.
one last thing as far as what I kind of, when we started all this and stuff. So for example, one thing that becomes confusing, especially in our family and stuff, and when people are first learning about Google Photos, one thing you can do is every picture that I take of my granddaughter, I can have that automatically go into 5 different albums. And so can my son, and so can his wife, and so can etc. Anybody that's taking a picture, anytime they can have it go into those albums. So it's building an album of that character, of that person, of my granddaughter, etc. The tough thing that my wife has an issue with, she said, "Oh my God, I love that. I got it in the album. It's awesome." She always forgets, and this is kind of why this whole show came about. She always forgets to put it in hers because she wants to send it to her best friend that Evie, my granddaughter, I can't find that picture. It was an awesome picture. I just want to be able to get it, and she can't find it. So a lot of times she'll forget to save or do that, or she doesn't remember to. So that's kind of really what I want to get here is anybody that's wanting to do that, make sure that you're doing that, getting it into your Google Photos so it is accessible from your text messaging and stuff like that. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
But, do you want all of those pictures? And you just have to
well,
do
when
it
you're talking about grandkids,
yes.
but
yeah, grandkids, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Yeah,
I see what you're saying, but yeah,
always yes.
but you can pick and choose too. Yeah, you can hold down, especially on a phone, you can hold down the ones you want and then push those over. I really don't want these. This is multiple copies. I don't need all 9 of them. That kind of thing. So you can do that kind of thing.
Select the ones you want and click save. Now they are copied into your Google Photos.
Right.
And you can do whatever you want with
library.
Have your own albums.
But you can't. Okay, so what you can't do is search for your like if I took the photo, well, no, because I took it, but search my granddaughter's photos, it won't show up from an album if everyone else has put it in there without me saving. Search. Correct.
It won't show you somebody else's photo.
Right.
Because where exactly is that photo? It's
right.
Not
it's
in your system. It's
right.
on their system.
It can't search their system.
You seeing it in a shared album is just kind of like a link. You're seeing the ghost.
So that's where it becomes important. If you want to be able to see those or search those or get those, that's when, because I almost always, anytime we have a get together or Thanksgiving and those photos pop up, I always hit save. If it's ever somebody else's, I just hit save all photos.
Okay, I don't want to keep going on this because I want to save some time for the backstage. But I do have one little question. I think either we can hang on this one way or the other. I don't know, but you can assign names to people. So like you could say my granddaughter Evie, you could put that on her face. Does Google Photos recognize she's in these other saved albums? And then when I say show me all of her pictures, it'll show me those pictures even though they're not mine?
No, you have to save them to your library.
Yeah, they have to be saved.
Oh,
this is kind of where I'm going. This is kind of where I was saying to my wife, I said, you really have to do this, consciously do this. I did the same thing with my mom because she's elder and she wants to see great grandkid pictures. So I tell her every time, I said, save them to yours because she wants to share it with her friends and stuff. So
I was just getting kind of an image of an analogy. Think about the photos that somebody else shared with you as being outside the window.
Yeah.
Your photos are here in your house. You can
in your
see
album,
their
your photo
photos,
album.
but it's outside the window. They aren't in your photos.
Right.
If you save them, they come inside into they copy, a copy of them.
You get them at CVS, get theirs at CVS and you bring them in your house. And now you got a copy of them. That's kind of the way you're talking about. Yeah. You just claimed them. And Gil just gave you a copyright. No, I'm kidding.
Wow. This is awesome. I can't wait to chat more in the backstage pass. And
absolutely.
For members, just want to remind everybody, we do have the workshop on OBS on Friday. We want to make sure you're there. So
absolutely.
Gonna be great.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming and joining us. I really do appreciate every time. I love it. I get so much information. Now I can just show this video instead of me and the husband-wife thing going on. Now I can just say, here, go watch this video. It'll help her a ton. But thank you for doing that. And I think it'll help other people too. I think because this can be a very confusing thing sometimes.
Yeah.
Just like I think Heather.
You think you have it, but you don't. It's not yours.
Exactly. Well, thank you guys, and we'll see you guys in the backstage pass. All right.
Thank
you, everybody. Thank you. Don't forget about Chris's book and everything. You gotta get it. There you go. Right there it is. There's the link. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you. Thank you for watching, everyone. We will talk to you. See you next week. Or no, see you in 2 weeks. No show next week. See you in 2 weeks. Because they've recognized me at my local Little League and I get to throw out the first pitch at a minor league game, I get to throw out the first pitch because it's like Northwood night there, so I get to throw that out. So I won't be here next week. It's been a long time since I missed one. So
are you going to live stream it?
Sure, if you want me to. I'll have a camera right here, and I'll be throwing out the first pitch. So it should be fun anyway. All right, thanks everybody. I'll see you next week. See you. Bye. Or in 2 weeks. See you in 2 weeks. Bye all.